everyone, I'm Laura Rogers and this is SharePoint Power Hour, and I have Joelle Jobson on audio too. Say hello, Joelle.
Hello everybody.
And Power Hour is a show that we do Wednesdays at 11 Central, and today's topic you all voted in my newsletter. You voted for Microsoft's new employee onboarding templates. So we'll go ahead and go into those in the demo. And just a real quick clarification, this is a set of SharePoint sites Microsoft has provided as an onboarding template. This doesn't really have anything to do with workflows or Microsoft or Power Automate or any kind of workflow process. And that's kind of usually what I'm doing when I'm talking about employee onboarding. This is a set of SharePoint sites. So we'll go through how to install those and where you can find them and what they look like. I installed them on my test tenant, and we'll go ahead and I'll share my screen and we'll dive into those. Now, I just had to reboot my computer, so I have to pull that stuff back up. And let me get over here. And I have to get the links that fortunately I just shared those with Joelle in chat in Teams, so I can grab those because I shared them with Joelle and then I had to reboot my computer, and so let me get those and I'll share my screen. Okay, so here is my desktop, and this is one of the templates that we have. So this onboarding template, again, it's a set of communication sites. So I'm going to get you the link to how to install it, and that is this thing. I'll grab that, put it in the chat. We have a chat in Slack where we talk live just during the class, where we have conversations and ask questions and just kind of informal conversation about everything that we're discussing. So first of all, you can read about it on this page that I just shared with you, but you can also, if you're a global admin, you can provision this in your tenant, and this is what I did. So and it actually just installs all of the sites for you and does all this for you. So when you go to this page and you click add to your tenant, that will go through the process of getting you authenticated and getting and actually installing all the sites for you. It kind of has a little prompt that says, are you sure? And it has a little prompt that says it's going to create all these SharePoint sites in your tenant. So let me go ahead and mute my, okay. All right. So see, it shows you all the sites that it's going to create when it's prompting you here, and it asks you for the name of your company. And I usually have my resolution really big when I'm sharing my screen in here, but this time I left it normal because these SharePoint sites that I'm going to show you are very pretty, and they have a lot going on them, and it's just not doing it justice to have it crammed on the screen with the really big resolution on it. So I want the sites to look nicer. So basically it has a onboarding hub URL, which is just new employee onboarding, and then the pre-onboarding URL and sales onboarding, and then engineering. So theoretically you could have onboarding sites for different companies in your just different divisions, I guess, of your company or different departments. So, and it also lets you, if you have custom themes in your tenant, it would let you pick, choose yes, and let you pick your own theme, that if you want your theme to automatically be applied when you implement these. So here I am an admin, so I installed them, and I go to the admin center, go to SharePoint admin, and I have new employee sales onboarding here. Let me go ahead and just sort these by URL since they all start with new. See, new employee engineering onboarding, new employee onboarding, pre-onboarding, and sales onboarding. So let me share this other link with you real quick, It's an overview. So this is more of a technical document. This is going to be where you can, I'll put this in the general channel in Power Hour in our chat. This is going to be where you can see all the technical nitty-gritty details about this whole thing. So one of the things that it's mentioning is that the idea of this pre-onboarding site is that you could allow people before they're even a user in your system, before they've even had their user account created, potentially share them as guest share this pre-onboarding site with them as guest users. So then what you're gonna do is it tells you to turn on external sharing on that pre-onboarding site. So let's go take a look at that pre-onboarding site and see what it looks like. So the IW Mentor pre-onboarding. So of course everything says Contoso, welcome to Contoso, but I typed IW Mentor as my company name when I first provisioned these. So it's basically, again, it doesn't have really information about my company, IW Mentor. It just has all this canned information. So in these little, this is really just a template to give you ideas, because you know, Microsoft doesn't know what you want your welcome message to be for your new employees, right? So this is going to give you a good spot where you can replace this with your own logo and replace this with your own just verbiage about your company and your own welcome video here. So it's just got their, you know, just example information. Now this is along the same lines as the SharePoint Lookbook, and we did a whole Power Hour about the SharePoint Lookbook. I wrote a blog post about the SharePoint Lookbook, and that is the concept of showing you all these templates just to get ideas and to show you what web parts are used in those templates. So you've even got customization instructions, a link here that will, if the link is built in, and that's where it takes you to that link of that overview, all the technical details that I was mentioning to you. So it tells you to provision it, it tells you to allow external sharing on the pre-onboarding site, and then you're going to want to customize the onboarding experience, and that is really just a matter of editing the web parts. So when I go to here, this is my onboarding site, I can just edit this page. So if you're brand new to SharePoint and you're watching this, each web part has a little edit button at the top right to go edit it. So you can change what this logo is. You can change all of these. Let's see, what kind of web parts are these? This is a section that has 3 columns, and this is where you can just type directly on the page. It's just a text web part. And then this is a separate web part that's just a button. So each of these separate things is just a separate web part. And you might be thinking, oh, well, it never occurred to me to just put 3 columns and have separate web parts for text and buttons. That's a great idea. So they're really, it's just all out of the box web parts, but they're showing them in kind of a unique way and giving you good ideas. And those are the concepts we talked about when we went through our lookbook Power Hour, where it's the exact same thing. It's just all out of the box. It's just giving you ideas as to what, you know, what you might want to, the way you might want to make it look. So this is, it's got Contoso 101. Let's see how much it actually has built in. It's got a leadership team page, and this is what you might want to do with pictures of your leadership people, and these are just image web parts showing these people's names, again with the 3 columns. And then prepare for your first day. So it's again the same logo across the top, and just some web parts where you can type all your verbiage. It's even got a map web part showing you, make sure you know how to get to work. And it's got some contacts, and those are that's just using the people web part to show you some people's names. All right, so, and you all let me know if you have any questions. This is a pretty simple Power Hour. I know a lot of people wanted to see it, but I'm not sure if you wanted to see it because it looks cool, or if so many people voted on it because it's because you thought it was a workflow, but it's just a bunch of pages. So that's This is the first site. Now what I can do, since I know how to go, see what all the pages, the built-in pages are, what I can do is just go quickly look at the content in this site. This is the pre-onboarding site. And I can see just real quick what all of the built-in pages are. So these are the pages that it's got that you can go edit. So like frequently asked questions. This is a really interesting way of putting buttons to, you could potentially have different, see it takes you to different sections. So this is a really neat functionality. So how did I click on a button and it took me straight to a specific section on the page? Well, when you use H1 headers in your text, they automatically have a little link next to them. So this is more of not an employee onboarding concept, but just a concept in Pages, where when I am editing SharePoint and I use heading 1, anytime I use heading 1 text, oh, this is actually, is it heading 2? Joelle, does heading 1 and heading 2 do that, or just heading 1? Heading 2. Sorry. Let's see.
I think that they're all, pretty much all of them do it.
Oh, really? Let's see. I'll put that as a heading 1. And that's a heading 2. Let's see. Save. Oh, yeah. So each of them do it. So when I do this, anytime I type, just use the H1 or H2 just as the format for that text, it provides me, when I'm not in edit mode, it provides me a link. So then I can take this link, and when I hover over it, I'll just copy the link address. So this is a really good idea for Q&As, just to be able to jump you straight to that question. So all it does is it takes you to the same page you're on, and it puts this pound test H1. So then when I click it, it will jump me straight to the section where I'm using it. So for example, if I go all the way down to career, and I look, this hyperlink says pound has pound career at the end. So then I create this button, and it's just this is a quick links web part that uses the button format. So this button is, look, see the link that it's taking me to is that career. It's the same page I'm on, just with the pound career at the end. So that's a really cool, I like the way that looks, don't you, Joelle? That's really cool. All right, yeah. So yeah, good idea for frequently asked questions. It's really neat looking. So I'm not very creative, so I love getting ideas from these things. Okay, so then this is where it would tell, help and support would take you there. So all of those pages we just looked at in here, those are just the pre-built one, and it looks like it has a page template built in. Let's see what that looks like. Do new site page, and then no, it didn't ask me for a template. Hold on a second. Let me go back to the home page of my pre-onboarding. And then go new page and see. Okay, here we go. So this is, it comes with its own page template. So that's why all of the pages in this pre-onboarding site have this little pretty thing across the top. So you could go in here and create your own page template, or go edit the page template too. So this is the main home page of the pre-onboarding site. That's really cool, the way those images kind of slide like that. And I think that, and that's just, you can see what kind of web part it is. I think it's just the hero web part that automatically does that. So let's see. Yep, it's the hero web part. So your images as in the hero web part are all automatically going to do the little cool thing where they kind of look like they're, it's got that visual effect. I don't know what the visual effect is called. It looks like they're kind of sliding as you scroll down, like you're sliding past them. All right, that's the pre-onboarding. So that's what people are going to see before they're even an employee. And then another one that it builds you is, let's go back to SharePoint admin, and let's go look at new employee onboarding. And it says your onboarding journey starts here. Let's get started. So Joelle, I know, and you have been looking, kind of digging through all this documentation too. Have you noticed or seen anything in there besides just all showing you all the pages that it creates? And there's no sort of extra functionality. There aren't any workflows or anything. It's just...
Yeah, not that I've seen. It mentioned tasks, but I think it's just like a place for them to keep track of their tasks. I need to go back and look at that again. But yeah, I don't think it was actually like any kind of workflow or anything or process.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, just let me know if you find some little fun nugget in there that we can go jump over to. Valerie said, what I really love is the wave images on the main onboarding site. Cool. Is the movement of the images called parallax? I have no idea. I've never heard that word. That's a good question. Okay, so here we have, this is the main onboarding. So once you're an employee, then you would basically give this, so go to site permissions, and I want to be able to share this with everybody in the company. So let's see if it lets me type everyone. Everyone except external users, and we need to have read. I usually don't want to send an email to everyone in the company when I share a page. So this is just a good permission level to give to communication sites that everybody in the company needs to be reading. So then we have your onboarding journey starts here. And I'll click this link in a second, but you can see I can scroll down and they have all these really giant pictures. Yeah, that wave is really cool looking. That is really neat. We'll go dig in and see how they did that too. And it's just a ton of web parts. So we'll go look at some of these fancy web parts and how they did this.
Have you looked at the Start Here page yet?
So where it says let's get started, let's look at that.
Yeah, I think that's where it mentions having like a checklist.
Oh, okay. Let's get started. This is what your onboarding experience was like at our company, right, Joelle?
Oh yeah.
It's like, hey Joelle, do you want to work at my company, in my new company? And she's like, okay, sounds good. And then
and we start.
So here's welcome to your next adventure. And again, this is the people web part, and then a new hire checklist. So, and it's got a link to the new hire checklist, which just jumps you to this part of the same page. Again, just genius. It's just making you feel like you're going to a different spot, but it's really just on the page. So then in any list web part, this is just a list web part. Any list web part, I can click see all, and it's just a list. As Valerie just said, it is just a SharePoint list. So there isn't any interactivity to it or anything. It'd be nice if you had a button that would run a flow that would go add all these like to your own My To-Dos or something like that. The to-dos are not something in a flow. They're not something that you can assign to other people. You'd have to you can only assign them to yourself. So anyway, so yeah, it's just a SharePoint list, and it's telling you what days that you need to do all these different things. Okay, I'll go back to the home page here, and let's go look at some of these web parts. And again, a link to the customization instructions. That's like a Microsoft doc that takes you to, shows you all the nitty-gritty technical details of what this entails. So your onboarding journey starts here. Again, this is just the link that's built into the Hero web part, but it's just a link to something on this page. And then what is this? So this it's a section, and it's just got a dark background, but then I've got an image web part on it. Yeah, it's just an image web part. Of course, the image web part doesn't have any links, but you add an image web part and it makes it look like it's behind all of these. Or is this a separate image? Interesting. Oh, Marie doesn't like the limit of the width for modern pages. It is a little awkward sometimes, isn't it? So, you know what they might have done, Joelle? They might have just put an image on here, it just by itself. Like this whole thing across the width is an image by itself. And then this web part down here, this section, has a dark background. So it looks like it's part of this little wave. So then when you go down here, this is just a separate image that is just the bottom part of the wave. So see, it's like wave picture, section with dark background, section with dark background, little image web parts on them, and then another image. And that's what they did to build it to make it look all fancy. Very cool. See, I would have never thought of that. And then these are all quick links. So they use the list format for quick links. And it's just a list showing descriptions. So there are probably about 100 different ways that you can configure the quick links web parts because it has so many different options. It has thumbnails, custom images, icons. It has the ability to show the description or not show the description. So it's got, you can make these look so many different ways. And see, this is another quick links web part that looks completely different. And then this is just some text. This is, ooh, Twitter. Let's see, what is this? Oops, I keep making it go away. There's a Twitter out-of-the-box web part. So all you do is say which, let's put mine on here. So here is IW Mentor. That's us. And it even gives me, I can put the dark theme color on there. And display dividers between the tweets. That's nice looking. And I can make it show that. That's cool. There is some Yammer stuff, but look, the Yammer, it looks like it's just pictures because we don't have Yammer turned on in this tenant. So this is really just showing me pictures of potentially what it could look like if Yammer was in here. And then it's got a video, picture of a video, I think, and then another wave. Cool. And then some text and a button. I'll go ahead and republish that. Yes, it is just the second image reverted. That's a good idea though. It's pretty cool. Okay, so that's the onboarding. So let's just, instead of clicking all these little links here, let's just go straight to what's in this site, and we'll just go to site contents and look at site pages, because there aren't a lot of lists and libraries. It's mostly just cool stuff being displayed on site pages. So it's got our story, and that's pretty slick looking, with just a lot of text and some image web parts down here. And it's got office locations, just images, and it looks like maybe these are weather web parts here, or time. Let's see. It's a world clock web part. All right, so each of these are showing the world clock web part, and then you could even add a weather web part if you wanted to. Okay, and then what else? It's got another frequently asked questions, so it's probably done kind of in the same way. Yep. It's got these links at the top. And one of my children is printing something now for their at-home learning. I told them to be quiet during power hour, but I didn't tell them to not print anything. Okay. Any questions so far? Oh, Valerie said she was a bit disappointed in the checklist being just a list. Yeah, I wasn't really surprised though, because usually when you're provisioning these things, it just sends out, it's SharePoint sites with lists and libraries in them. What do we have here for our teams? can't really fuss at my kids for wanting to do their schoolwork and print stuff out, huh? They probably hit print on something that's like 20 pages long. Okay, this is our teams. And it's got more people web parts and little map web parts. That's cool. Very creative. I like the way that looks. See, it would never occur to me to do that yet again. And then what do they do for org structure? I'm fascinated to know. Nothing. Oh man, I thought that was going to be something cool. Org structure. And then they have a template, resource groups, join a resource group. So they have a bunch of just like social groups of people. And it looks like a hero web part. So like veterans at Contoso. It just takes you back to the same page. It doesn't have any specific content for all these different groups, but it gives you an idea of a way to make it look. And then of course there's that start here page that we went to. Aw, thanks, Robin. Yeah, so the kids are working, they have them doing remote learning 3 days a week and physically going to school 2 days a week. So, and we had my little 7-year-old's best friend over here Monday just doing schoolwork with her all day. But then that lasted 1 day because then her brother tested positive for coronavirus. It's coming closer. It's coming closer. It's like all these people in the neighborhood now. It's just eking closer and closer to us. So it's a miracle we don't have it yet. Okay, so then what else do we have in here? Usually kids are pretty much okay when they get it. They just get a little fever. In my experience, they just get a little fever and it's okay. But sometimes they're not. So it's like rolling the dice. Okay, this one is the, so that's the pre-boarding. Let's go to the sales onboarding and see what that one looks like. Let me close some of these tabs. Okay, ooh, that's pretty. Look at that green. Welcome to the team. I have that same get started, which probably just takes me to, so it takes me to another page, get started with, again, the same concept of some web parts and buttons. And then a YouTube web part. There's the sales new hire checklist. So this is a different SharePoint list. And then it's got instructions. This is cool. This is a good idea, right? It's got instructions on how to go into and create a new news post. It pick a template. So it's got step-by-step instructions on creating a page in SharePoint as part of your SharePoint template. Genius. So it just gives them some simple steps to create news pages. Let me go back to sales onboarding. Susan, no, I don't think there's a way to do that. And okay, so welcome to the team. So this is another hero web part, and it's got, what they did with this hero web part is they didn't put pictures on these 4 tiles. So they picked the 5-tile view and just didn't put pictures on these. And then they have, so get set up for sales success. Again, quick links. And then these are going to be, these are news posts. So they did a news post about each person. So let's see what template we have in here. So look at this. We have a new hire introduction template. Good idea, right? So you just put the person's face and it says welcome to the team. And then they have just this regular site page template that's got their little logo and stuff at the top. And we did another power hour about how to do page templates too. Okay, team culture, sales excellence. And then this has got, I like the way they alternate between the white and the green backgrounds down the page. And then this is some more, another people web part, some image web parts. And let's see, let's take a look at what specifically this is. This is an image web part and a text web part. It's just image, text, image, text, image, text. It's just like 8 different web parts. All right, so it's so funny because you look at these and it's so simple the way it's done. It's just done in a creative way. You're just learning creative ways to do stuff. So let's go look at what's involved. And you can always, I love just going straight to site contents whenever I go to a site that I've never been to, just to see what is actually in it. Well, they have a big sales new hire checklist, 47 things. So if you're doing employee onboarding and you want to actually assign tasks to these people, we've had other power hours about employee onboarding, but one thing you could do would just be you could have it assign tasks to them, just create a SharePoint list and call it tasks and have it automatically go through this list, and for every item in the list it creates a new task for that person and assigns it to them. So that would be one way, to just have a static list and then have it, whenever they come on board, have it generate those. And we talked a couple of power hours ago when we were talking about Teams triggers in flows. There's a trigger that lets you know when someone joins a group. And so I showed you how you can go create an organization-wide team in Microsoft Teams. And so automatically, as soon as you have a new employee, they become a member of that organization-wide team. So then you could have that be the trigger to know that you have a new employee, and you could have it go through this list and just do a loop, and for each item in the list create a task and assign it to them. Does that make sense? So just an idea for something you could do with that. And we have a lot of site pages too. So these are the ones we looked at that have that are using that welcome new employee sort of template. And then you have getting started. So you're starting to see kind of some similar ideas in here, but you're also seeing, I mean, there's like kind of little new nuggets of information, all these different pages. So probably help to just go click through all of these and look how cool this one looks and see what you have. Look, I mean, it's beautiful, right? Ricky says he keep trying to click on Laura's taskbar. Yeah, these definitely give you a great head start, but then you have to go into every single page and customize it to have your verbiage and not the generic Contoso verbiage and your employees instead of the generic Contoso employees. So I could see that could take a good bit of time to go through each of the 4 sites. I think it was 4 sites. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, through each of the 4 sites it created, and then go straight to the site pages library and go edit every single one of those pages. But at least that's how you know that's the one place to go to, is as long as you just go straight to site pages on that site, then you'll be able to see exactly what's in there, and you don't have to go start clicking through all these different things in the navigation. So let's go look at the engineering onboarding. We haven't seen that one yet. Stacy says, if you already have an onboarding site, is there a way to add any of this to an existing site? No, not really. I would just go click and create new pages and then just mimic what they're doing here. Just use all the exact same web parts. I mean, technically, you could probably install this and then use ShareGate to migrate the pages over, but then you'd still have to configure all of them to have your own stuff in them. So I would just, Stacy, I would just do it from scratch and just click create new page and just create them all like they've done with the same web parts and ideas, but just with your own content in them. So here's my engineering. That's a nice engineering picture. Welcome to the team. Another hero web part. This is a nice little quick links web part right here on the right. And this is another news one. And this is some more image web parts and some people web parts. And let's go see what exists in here. In the rollout of this, it does not have anything other than engineering and sales. They're really just to give you ideas. So you would just go create your own new site and just kind of do some of the same ideas that they did. And look, this department has their own new hire checklist as well. And let's go see what the engineering has as their pages. So I have these about pages, about people. I have getting started. Welcome to Contoso Engineering. Again, the checklist on the home page. And then showing them how to do news articles. And our leadership which is, this it looks exactly like the one on the other site did. Frequently asked questions, again, this is the same concept that they're using on all of their frequently asked questions, where you can just jump straight to a specific part on the page like this. And this is just text, a text web part on the right, and just sections. Priorities, let's see. Yep, that looks just like the other one. It's just a different color. It is pretty time consuming though to go create all those from scratch. Ricky says, which one of the 4 is the hub site? Well, it doesn't, one of them is not, let's see, it might have, I would assume that the new employee onboarding one, but it doesn't automatically make it a hub. So let's see, let's go look at the navigation. Yeah, it doesn't do a hub. So then what you would do if you wanted them to be a hub, this one would be the one you'd want. And then you could say, just click here, edit hub site. Well, it says unregister as a hub site on this one. Huh, okay. Well, it isn't a hub site. New employee hub. And I'm just going to say me. So then you could go to one of these other ones, like I'll go back to engineering onboarding. Go to site information and look at that. So did it already do it? It's interesting.
It sounds like, I was reading and it sounds like they're all hub sites.
Oh.
Because it says Neo hub sites, but I don't know if it means like they're all hub, like, I don't know if they're just using the word hub as like a descriptor, or if it's actually like a hub.
Let me refresh this, because I made it a hub site, but then when I went to one of them, it looked like it had already associated itself. So let me go to sort it by URL again, since they're all in here in the ends. And I clicked on the engineering one and that was already selected. So let me go to the sales one. And I know I could do it from the admin center. Let me just go here and do it. I'll wait for my settings button. There we go. Site information. Yeah, see, there isn't one. But then, so I picked New Employee Hub. But then they all had what looked like some central navigation on all of them. So maybe when Microsoft built this template, they just manually put this same navigation on all these different sites, and then it's kind of up to you to make it a hub. I don't know. But yeah, so I just made... Now, so when I make it a hub, and again, we've had other power hours completely all about hub sites. Then when I make it a hub, then all the other sites get the navigation from the main hub. So let me go back to corporate onboarding, takes me to new employee onboarding. And so it would take me to those specific onboarding pages. Like there isn't a marketing one yet, so it's not a link. Those would take me to those specific onboarding pages for those departments. And then when I go to sales, this is the one that was green. So sales had its own color theme. And then when I added it to the hub, it inherited the color theme of that main hub site. So, and then it inherited this. Now, one of them that I haven't changed to join the hub yet is this one, which you may not want that to do that, because that one's going to be the one that you give access to external people. So when I go look at that one, you can see it doesn't have that top navigation. So it only just has its own navigation because it's not part of the hub yet. So, yeah, because there's some ways that you can. I don't know if it's out yet with the whole managing permissions from the hub. There goes the printer again. But you wouldn't, I don't know if you'd want to have this as part of a hub and then have to do the whole thing with the external people. So that's kind of a bit more of just like what's your best practice there. So Valerie, engineering is its own site collection, and sales is its own site collection, and onboarding is its own site collection. Each of those 4 things is its own site collection. So yeah, so see there's sales and engineering. And you can see here where the hub association is. So then this one's the hub. I'll refresh this. Okay. Any questions about this onboarding? Getting a lot of creative ideas, hopefully. This is really cool. Joelle, you know what we can do in our power user class where we do site designs and web parts? We can just make one of the labs be where it takes you through like building one of these cool looking pages.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to my to-do list. We just recorded our live online Power Apps and Power Automate class last week, so I'm doing all the rendering and editing of that. Okay, let me switch it. Let's see. So your IT SharePoint admin would have to open the site where externals can access. Yes, and that is part of the instructions, Brenda. So when you go to the instructions, it tells you what the 4 sites that are involved, and it tells you step 1, provision it, and then enable external sharing for the pre-onboarding site. So you can go to the admin center, to that specific site, and enable external sharing. Now, the level of external sharing that you add, whether you're going to add anyone or new and existing, that's up to you. But that's what you would need to do so external people can get to it. So I did invite myself in my other tenant. I'll go show you. To this onboarding site. Let me grab that URL. Copy, paste. Oh, it says I don't have access. I must have messed with it. All right, maybe not. Okay, never mind. I was playing around with adding the external user, but I didn't really finish doing that apparently. It looks exactly the same. It's just, I was just showing that I added myself as an external user to this site so that I can get to it before I'm an employee. Any other questions? I think that kind of wraps it up. Now we do have new software. We'll kind of address the technical issues that I had at the beginning. We have new software that we got for doing this live broadcast, the streaming part. And so we got into live software. I got it all configured because we started about 20 or 25 minutes early today because of that, just to make sure. And then my audio was never working, and I could hear Joelle's audio and other audio, but not my microphone. So it wasn't working at all. So then finally at 5 to 11, I just said, well, let's just go back to using XSplit. And but then when I turned on XSplit, my audio was still not working. So it must have been something with my microphone. So then I rebooted my computer at 11:01, and then now my microphone is completely non-existent. So I'm gonna have to go unplug and plug stuff back in, or reinstall drivers or something. I'm not sure what happened, but we're gonna go use this other software next time because it's really, really cool, and I like it a lot better than XSplit. So it's called vMix. But thanks everybody for coming and exploring the employee onboarding with me. And we'll see you next time at Power Hour. We have it'll be Wednesday at 11 Central, and hopefully we'll be using the new software. And you all check out our training on our website, iwmentor.com. Power Apps Basics class is a good free one that you can get started with. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Joelle.
Thanks, Laura.